But your last statement, that it is your dream that I want to become self-dependent, that's the reason I don't want to marry early. Now this is a very dangerous statement. Let me clarify to you that becoming self-dependent for a lady is not haram at all. But there are various aspects that come with it. Normally, on an average, if a lady is self-dependent and after marriage she earns money, then what will happen? Then she may not be, I'm saying she may not be. She may start thinking, okay, fine, now I am earning. Maybe I'm earning same as my husband, or I'm earning more than my husband. And then there may be the shaitan who will whisper in her and tell her that, see, now you're earning more than your husband, so why should you obey your husband? You know, fine. Quran clearly states in Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 34, Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala nisa, that the man is the protector of the woman, is the qawwam. He is the protector and supporter. Many people misunderstand this and say, and they think that man is superior to the woman. That is the misunderstanding. The Arabic word qawwam comes from the root word akhama, which means to stand up for. So, and the verse continues, the man is the supporter of the woman because Allah has given him more strength and He provides him from His means. That means man has got more strength, and that's correct. Generally, there can be some women who are more stronger than the men, but generally man is more stronger. And it says He provides him from his means. That means he is the caretaker of the family. In Islam, it is the man which is the bread earner in the family. Before, and a woman is financially secured. In Islam, a woman, before she is married, it is the duty of the father and the brother to take care of her financial aspects. And after she is married, it is the duty of the husband and the son to look after her lodging, boarding, clothing, and all financial aspects. In Islam, a woman is financially secured. She need not work for a living. No one can force her to work, not even a husband. Can't force her to work, because it's the duty of the husband to provide all financial obligations. Food, clothing, lodging, house, everything, to his capacity. Now, it is not haram for a woman to be self-dependent. She can very well do a job as long as the job she is doing is within the purview of the Sharia. But normally what happens today in the age that we are living in, the shaitan is there. If a woman starts earning and she thinks, okay, she requires X amount of money per month and she's earning 2X, so she thinks, khalas, you know, I'm looking after myself, whether my husband earns less or more. If he earns less, so she tries to get. Now, that lady is not a virtuous lady then. So it is not haram to be independent, but our beloved Prophet, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he clearly mentioned, it's mentioned in Sunan Ahmad, Musnad Ahmad, volume number 3, hadith number, volume number 2, hadith number 1661, that the Prophet said that a lady who prays 5 times a day and she fasts during the complete month of Ramadan and guards the chastity and obeys the husband can enter paradise from any of the gates. The Prophet also said, it's mentioned in Musnad Ahmad, hadith number 19003, that the Prophet said that for a lady, the husband is the paradise or hell. That means how she treats the husband, whether she obeys or not, is very important. And the Prophet also said in hadith, which is mentioned in Ibn Majah, volume number 3, hadith number 1853, that the Prophet said that if I had to command anyone to bow down to anyone after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would have been for the wives to bow down to the husbands. Because a woman cannot fulfill the duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until she fulfills her duty towards the husband. Now we have to take all the hadith together. So here we realize that it's very important that a married woman, for her to obey the husband is very important. And see to it that she keeps the husband happy. Now when you say that I want to be self-dependent, it is no problem at all. But for you to be self-dependent and at the same time be obedient to your husband and follow your duties and your rights to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very difficult. I'll give you a very good example of a lady who was self-dependent, and the best Muslimah that I can think of, that was the wife of the Prophet, Khatija radiallahu anha. Khatija radiallahu anha, the first wife of the Prophet, was a businesswoman. And she was self-dependent. She supported the Prophet. At a time when the people were against the Prophet, she supported him. Not only with the wealth, with emotion, with her love, with the care. And she was always by the side of the Prophet. When the Prophet was rejected, she used to say, how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ever do any wrong to a person who always thought good of others, who helped the orphans, who helped the poor? And she was always there to pacify. She was rich, very rich. She was self-dependent. She not only supported the Prophet spiritually and others, even financially. But do you have the virtue of Khatija radiallahu anha? So being self-dependent is not wrong at all. But in today's world, if you are self-dependent, the chances that you will go against your husband becomes high. I have my sisters who are self-dependent. They earn a lot, but they're obedient to the husband. Maybe the virtuous treatment that they got, they're virtuous. So I'm not saying being self-dependent is wrong. But your statement, my dream is to become self-dependent, is a very dangerous statement. For a Muslim, his basic number one dream should be, I want to enter Jannah. If you're calling yourself a Muslimah, and in the full question you said, my dream is to become self-dependent, if you have 100 dreams and the least important dream was to become self-dependent, no problem. But in your question, it seems to be that is the most important mission in your life. If the most important mission in your life is to become self-dependent, then I would say, sister, you haven't understood Islam. For a woman, Islam has financially secured her. Whatever you do, however much you earn, if your husband is not virtuous, he can make life hell for you. Even if you may earn $1 million a month, it will be difficult. So you should try and find a virtuous husband.